Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Manchester United, Loyalty FC, where finishing 15th is a lifestyle and turning down £700,000 a week is a personality trait. Yes, folks, Bruno Fernandes, our beloved midfield wizard and emotional roller coaster, just rejected a €200 million Saudi offer to stay with Manchester United. That's right, he chose Europa Conference League vibes over oil money paradise. If loyalty were a currency, Bruno would be a trillionaire. Unfortunately, Manchester United only pay in vibes, nostalgia, and annual rebuilds. 1. Bruno rejects a yacht for a dinghy. So, let's set the stage. Al-Hilal shows up with an offer. 3 years, £700,000 per week, tax-free, and a golden camel or two. Manchester United, meanwhile, offer him a 15-3p Flace finish and Scott McTominay's eternal friendship. And what does Bruno say? No thanks. I prefer slow death over sudden wealth. Let's put it into perspective. Bruno didn't just say no to Saudi money. He said no to a life where match days end with massages on yachts, not post-match interviews explaining why United lost to Burnley. He said no to a tax-free fortune that could have bought him Old Trafford's naming rights, Roy Keane's forgiveness, and probably half of Lisbon. Instead, he said, "Nah, I'd rather play the ball sideways to Mount and scream at the ref for 90 minutes. Bruno isn't just rejecting wealth, he's embracing the chaos like a man who enjoys pain or believes Maguire's comeback arc is still loading. Bruno turning down Al-Hilal is like someone refusing a private jet because they believe walking builds character. £700,000 a week is, buy your own country's money. Meanwhile, he's choosing to pass to Rashford and pray. Imagine your job offers you triple pay to work in a sunny office with a smoothie bar. And you say, nah, I'd rather work nights at the haunted factory. That's Bruno. Even Fabrizio Romano was shocked. He said, here we go, but in disbelief. United fans are calling this loyalty. I call it Stockholm Syndrome, but with shin pads. 2. Fan reaction. Red flag waving intensifies. Of course, United fans on X, formerly Twitter, but still toxic, erupted like they'd just won the league. Again, they finished 15th. Bruno is giving his entire career to the worst Manchester United ever, wrote one fan, which sounds more like a cry for help than a compliment. And of course, the tribal war began. Some fans used Bruno's loyalty as ammunition in their never-ending X battles. This is why he's better than De Bruyne. Sure, because nothing screams elite midfielder like dragging a mid-table team to 14th instead of 15th. Others treated it like a breakup. I didn't want him to leave, but I was ready if he did. Meanwhile, rival fans just stood back and watched, popcorn in hand, wondering how United fans could celebrate keeping their best player and their worst league finish in the same breath. It's emotional gymnastics at its finest. One fan said Bruno's a top 10 United legend. That's how far we've fallen. Loving someone for not leaving us. Another said, we can sign players without Al-Hilal money. Brother, have you seen your transfer history? United spent $500 million and got Mount. Bruno turned down money for the badge. Yes, the badge that leaks goals and trauma. Fan logic, rejecting happiness equals hero. Accepting Saudi money equals villain. But finishing 15th equals character development. Meanwhile, Al-Hilal fans said, we didn't even want him. Classic you can't fire me. I quit energy. 3. Gary Neville chimes in. Football's moral compass. Gary Neville weighed in too, of course. He said Bruno staying says a lot about him as a person. Which, from Neville, is the football version of sainthood. Gary, this isn't a Netflix biopic. It's just a guy saying no to Retirement Island because he wants to lose 2. 1 to Luton Town. Some say Gary Neville has become less of a pundit and more of a motivational speaker for the emotionally damaged. His praise for Bruno wasn't just analysis, it was a eulogy for ambition. He stayed when we were down, Neville declared. As if Bruno had rescued United from a burning building instead of just signing up for another season of defensive lapses and VAR-induced trauma. At this point, if Bruno walked Gary's dog, Neville would probably compare it to Roy Keane's leadership in the 1999 treble season. The bar is not just low, it's underground. Neville sees Bruno as the torchbearer of honor. Everyone else sees a guy who passed up generational wealth to assist Manchester United. Gary praising loyalty is rich, considering he ghosted Valencia quicker than United ghosted their Champions League hopes. Imagine quitting a job offer from Elon Musk to keep working at Blockbuster. Then having Gary Neville say, "Wow, integrity." Neville said United are at their lowest ebb. That's not a compliment, it's a health warning. Bruno's going to be knighted by Neville at this rate. Sir Bruno of mid-table. 4. Behind the decision. Family, loyalty, and trauma. Reports say Bruno discussed the offer with his family before rejecting it. So yes, somewhere in Portugal, a dinner table saw a man say, "Honey, I'm staying with the 15th place team," and nobody threw cutlery. That's real love. Or madness. Possibly both. Let's be honest. If any of us brought home a £200 million offer and our family said, "Stay where you are, sweetie," we'd question their love. But not Bruno. He nodded, kissed the kids goodnight, and returned to training with players who think tracking back is a myth. You just know his family group chat has messages like, "Remember, happiness isn't everything, and you can't buy character or a functioning midfield." It's like a support group where no one's allowed to dream too big, just big enough to beat Sheffield United on a good day. 5. Still not safe. Transfer window drama incoming. Of course, just because he turned down Al-Hilal doesn't mean he's staying at United forever. Bayern, PSG and Barcelona are lurking like hyenas near an injured wildebeest. United fans say he's loyal. European scouts say he's available. Let's be real. Bruno's loyalty has an expiration date, and it smells like summer window. One Champions League whisper from Bayern and suddenly he's Googling how to say goodbye in Mancunian. If Barcelona call, he'll pretend he's always loved tapas and tiki-taka. And if PSG show up with a suitcase full of cash and a Neymar-shaped vacancy, Bruno might just remember he has Parisian ancestors. United fans better hold tight. This isn't the end of the love story. It's just intermission before he left to pursue European football elsewhere plot twist. 6. The origin story. Bruno's life before mid-table, mayhem. Let's not forget, Bruno came from humble beginnings. He learned Italian by watching TV. He survived Sampdoria. He faced sporting ultras, storming the training ground. He's built for chaos. So yeah, he can probably survive Amorim's press conferences and project plans. His journey from street football in Maya to Old Trafford drama king is nothing short of cinematic. If the genre is tragedy-comedy, this is a man who learned Italian from TV subtitles just to survive in Serie B, and now has to decode whatever tactical instructions Amorim scribbled on a clipboard mid-game. From dodging sporting ultras to dodging misplaced passes at United, Bruno's resilience isn't just admirable, it's borderline superhuman. His career arc is like watching a hero's journey where the final boss is VAR, and the sidekicks keep getting red cards. Bruno almost quit football at 18. Now he just looks like he wants to quit midfield duty every time Casemiro disappears. He was once nicknamed Microphone Foot for his free kicks. At United, he's more like bicycle kick desperation man. He used to stay late practicing free kicks. Now he stays late because United games never end without a VAR incident. Bruno doesn't need motivation. He needs therapy. He's watched 6 managers come and go, and McFred midfield. That's trauma. He once played street football barefoot, which is still safer than passing to United's fullbacks. 7. Bruno Fernandes. Loyalty, legacy, and lunacy. So what have we learned? Bruno Fernandes rejected oil money for another year of chaos. Chaos and Harry Maguire warming the bench. United fans are celebrating like they won a trophy. Spoiler alert, they didn't. But in 2025, loyalty is the silverware. In the end, Bruno's staying feels less like a power move, and more like that friend who refuses to leave a sinking party because it might get better. Spoiler, the DJ just left. The snacks are gone and someone set the bathroom on fire, but sure, let's stay hopeful. His legacy is now officially locked in as the guy who turned down untold riches to play through United's tactical identity crisis and another year of rebuilding. Give him a testimonial match and a sainthood. The man's practically performing community service at this point. Bruno is football's version of the guy who stays in a toxic relationship because he believes they can change. This is a man who chose legacies over Lambo, who picked passion over petrodollars, who said, "Nigh to Dubai to stay in rainy Manchester." Give the man a statue, or at least a therapist. United may not have Champions League football, but they have Bruno, trauma bonding, and Gary Neville's approval. And in this economy, that's enough. Right? If this ends with Bruno lifting the Carabao Cup while crying and whispering, "I made the right choice," we riot. But hey, in a world where everyone chases money, Bruno chased dreams and willingly stayed in a footballing fever dream called Manchester United. Closing thoughts. The loyalty paradox. So, what do you think? Is Bruno a footballing saint or just someone with a high pain threshold and low regard for tropical retirement plans? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell faster than Bruno yelling at the ref. And remember, if you ever feel bad about not making smart financial choices, just know Bruno Fernandes said no to £700,000 a week to play for a team that finished below Bournemouth.